right, guys, we're here at Cardinal Financial today. We're here to have a great conversation on what the is going on in the real estate market today.
What is going on?
Like, honestly, it's nuts out here. We really got to get down to the nitty-gritty, to what people are seeing out here, what buyers are dealing with, what listing agents are dealing with, and how to get a home in this insane market.
Yep, and I think we'll touch on a lot of good things that people are hopefully listen to. If not, who cares? But yeah, I mean, firsthand experience of guys who do it every day. We're in the trenches. You know, we see it. I mean, you're more of a mobile guy.
I'm out in the streets. You're out here.
You're out there, fucking putting a million miles on your car.
Oh man!
And that's why I can sit in here and watch it all unfold from the back cave. But
no, that's how we get it done.
Yeah. 100%. So what the fuck's going on with the real estate market right now?
Real estate market right now, it's pretty fucked, honestly. Everyone's getting screwed over. People are paying $100K, $200K over ask for these houses right now, and everyone wants to know what the hell's going on. So I'm glad we were able to sit down today and talk about what the hell, the nitty-gritty of what's going on in today's real estate market.
Right, and I think a lot of it, what I think this should be about is more so like easing people's mind, because obviously when you're not living under a rock and you see what is going on, everyone has a first-hand experience with somebody getting duped because of they lost a house and they've made 25 offers at this point. Like, you're even working with my cousin who they're the perfect borrowers, like legitimately 20% down, 800 credit, great income, and they're just getting beat out every time.
No matter what.
No one can figure out why. So I think what a lot of people are trying to figure out is, like, is this a cause for concern? You know, because we're in it every day. You know, we're getting the calls, we see it, but I don't think it is. And so I guess the major question that people have is, like, are we headed towards a housing crisis? And like we said, I don't think we are. But you're on your side of things. As a buyer's agent, you're seeing, obviously, you know, the lack of inventory.
Yeah, so a lot of it is lack of inventory for us. I'll tell you stories. I've been on open house lines for an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, just to get beat out for $100K over ask. And like you said, with perfect buyers, 20% down, nothing to sell, first-time home buyers, great credit. It doesn't matter. Right. And half the time, you get people coming in with these bags of cash too, and you can't beat that. So it's really tough out here, and we don't want people to be discouraged either, though. It is still a great time to buy. The rates are still phenomenal right now.
Yeah,
so there's no need to be worrisome about it. You just got to stay calm out here, and have the right team is definitely very important. You will have to overpay in this market, which sucks. I know I would never want any of my clients to ever overpay, ever. But getting a deal in this market is getting the home. If you have feeling for this home and you walk in, you have that gut feeling, I can raise my kids here, my family here, have generations live here. Right. It's worth it. It's worth the money. Real estate is always going to go up, so don't be scared about paying over ask. Like I said, I would never want anyone to do it, but you have to in this market to compete with these hundreds of other buyers out here in Long Island. It's nuts.
So what we're seeing is, obviously, a lot of people are okay with paying over ask for the premium. So as we talked about, you'll see the properties that have a completely done backyard, a brand new kitchen, or something to that nature. They see it as, all right, well, listen, if they're asking $650 for the house, but I got to pay $7, that kitchen, that backyard, that pergola, that patio, pool, whatever it might be, you know, that I would rather pay that extra $50,000, because if I had to pay that cash out of pocket, A, I might not have it, or B, if I need to finance those things that I want to do, I'm going to be paying, if it's a personal loan or home equity line, adjustable rates, double-digit interest. So they're like, oh, it's 30 years at 3-something%. Like, I'd rather do it that way. And so then we just have to make sure that, obviously, the appraisal comes in, because that's been a huge problem.
Yes, for all of us here,
and
honestly.
That's been something we've seen.
For a lot of people, you're putting down a good amount down. It's not the scariest thing in the world. You know, you could use money from your down payment. There's other ways that you can fight it. But we have been having a tough time with the appraisals out here. But, you know, it's something you might need to come across if you do really want the house.
And that plays back to having, like, a really good team in place, because, like, if you tell me, like, a deal we literally just submitted this morning, it's like, hey, you know, the purchase price is $400,000. I know they were asking $369, but here's 10 comps, and I think that we're totally fine. If we're short, maybe it's $5,000. We'll figure it out. Yeah. It's about having that knowledge prior, and not just throwing a crazy number out there to get an accepted offer, and then that's doing bad by your client and me too, because we put in all the work, we get the operations staff involved, we get it approved. We're just waiting for an appraisal that's so short. Now we don't have a deal. So we want to avoid that, and I think going back to the inventory problem, like, will it stay forever? No. The easy answer is, like, obviously with the coronavirus, everyone was fleeing kind of congested urban areas to get back out into the suburbs. And any major city in the surrounding areas have been feeling the pressure. I mean, you have suburban Boston and Florida, and now
it's all over the country, honestly. It's not just Long Island. It feels like just a Long Island thing, but it's really not. We talk to realtors all the time from out of state, and I'm sure you're in more states than me.
Right.
And it's nuts how everywhere is just doing the same thing. Long Island, yes, it is especially overasked. You have a lot of people from the city we've been working with coming out from Queens, Brooklyn. So it's a lot of that, plus everyone else who's just been stuck in the home for the past year and competing right now to get these homes out here. And school districts are a huge thing too in Long Island. So it's tough to get in the right school district, the perfect house, and compete with 30 other people for the same house that you want.
It's a joke.
It's a joke, but like you said, going back to having the right team, the right lender is honestly huge. All the time, the first thing they ask, who are you approved with?
Right.
Thank God we're with Cardinal, great Greg Koster, always does the right thing. We make a name for ourselves out here, and that's what really gets it accepted, having the right agent who has great relationship with other agents in the industry.
Not to cut you off, but that's something that I've absolutely noticed. Like, first-time home buyers, if they come to me, they don't really know much. They're like, where do I get started? The most important initial referral has to be the agent, and obviously we try to place the right agent with the right client. I don't want to give you a client buying in Franklin Square, just as, if I got someone that's buying in Smithtown, I'm like, that's the guy. But that is so important, and other loan officers listen, and other realtors, because most houses that you say, hey, we're going to see these 3 this weekend, the listing agents. You're in the business. You socialize with them. You might even be friends with these guys. That's huge. People don't get that because they want to make a deal with someone they like. Right. If you absolutely despise the listing agent and you have the client, the guy, I'm not working with this fucking guy. But that's a huge thing, and you're like, hey, this lady works for Signature. I can kind of work with her a little bit and see where we're at, and it gives us a much bigger leg up.
It's huge leverage, honestly. That's why I've always said, play nice in the sandbox, honestly. You never know when it's going to come across where you got to make a deal with an agent. You never, ever know. That's why I've always been great with networking, great with making friends with everyone in the industry, and it's just doing the right thing, honestly. Just doing the right fucking thing, it's all going to come back to you, the karma, everything. That's real shit, honestly.
Right.
So doing the right thing definitely comes back. Do the right thing by your clients, other agents, inspectors, attorneys, everyone. It'll come back tenfold.
They're going to want to work with you. And I think another thing we want to touch on is everyone keeps asking the questions like, are we in a housing crisis? Like, are we going to repeat 2008? And I had wrote a little article on what I think, what I'm noticing is going on. And basically the long and the short is 2008 was essentially derived from a deregulated real estate financing market. So in layman's terms, bad loan, right? So everyone that wanted to buy a house, they could. And they could tell the lender, this is what I make per year. And if we can verify that you worked at that company, we're not going to check your income doc. So that would be a stated income loan. I was obviously too young to be in the business then. But with all that being said, those borrowers that couldn't get your cookie cutter loan, they were given these subprime loans that had adjustment periods and crazy things going on with them that at one point in time, they all kicked in and the loans went sour. Everyone defaulted on them. They couldn't make the payments. Right. Then the values came down, so the houses are underwater, and now that was a true disaster. Rest assured, right now, we are far from deregulated real estate financing because of the fact that we've actually tightened up. So we talked, like, we had that one deal where under a certain credit score, now the debt-to-income ratio needs to be below a certain percentage.
Right. Changes everything.
That changes a lot of things, and then now you have to start getting creative. But it's tougher to get a mortgage right now, so the quality of buyer is good. You're not really getting those trashy, I don't want to use the word trashy, but you're not getting those borrowers that are very sticky and maybe this isn't going to work out. So that is definitely a good thing. Now, the buyers that we have nowadays, being that there's such good buyers, it's just maybe the one issue is obviously the inventory. But other than that, they essentially, if we're working with a first-time home buyer, someone in their 20s buying their starter home, they probably don't have 20% down. They might be 5, 10, maybe 15% down. So where they're seeing issues, which we understand, we totally get, is that if I only have a 5% down payment, I might have perfect credit, I have great income, I can make the payment, but I don't have that down payment, so now I'm not getting the offers accepted. And if I do and pay an exorbitant amount over ask, and it doesn't appraise, I do not have the money to come up with the difference. So I don't want to waive my appraisal. So, that's been the whole...
It all plays into it. Yeah, I was thinking the same exact thing. Honestly, like, we have these great buyers, and 5%, 10% is a good amount down. Honestly,
it's 5% conventional is like my favorite.
A year ago, 2 years ago, that would have been perfect, and we would have got that deal accepted in a heartbeat. But when you're coming in against 35, 40 offers, and then someone has 15% down, 20% down, 30% down or all cash, it's like impossible.
Yeah,
so,
and we've even gotten the conversation like, yeah, do your inspection tomorrow, but then some guy from wherever the hell jumps in with an $800,000 cash offer, and you're like, well, we just got washed.
And that's another thing I hate about this fucking market right now, honestly.
Right.
It's like, it's not the real way it should be. It should be, honestly, it'd be like, hey, I accept your offer. Let's just go to contract. I'm not going to keep showing it for no fucking reason, driving up the price all the way sky high, and that's what's happening. Honestly, there's no need for it. Honestly, when you should, if there gets to a point where you need to stop showing the house. You got your number, you got your 100K over ask. Why are you driving up the prices? Because it's just a continuing cycle, and then these houses are going up, and then they sell, and it's just driving it up and up. And then
I think, and I don't know, but I think that a lot of listing agents right now. Listen, anyone could sell a house over ask right now.
Right.
A gorilla could sell your house.
It's not rocket science, honestly.
But the way, if it's a different type of house, or the realtors are important to put a good deal together, make sure it closes. What's an issue is the listing agents that are just taking properties and wanting to scream off the rooftop that they sold it for $200,000 over ask. It's like, that's not helping anybody, because if you're not knowledgeable about what values actually are, or you're in tune with a good lender that knows what appraisals are coming in for, your deal, I don't care, when it's in contract, you post on your Instagram story like, sold 150 over ask. That's great, it didn't close, it's in contract, but that appraisal will come back, you could be dead. So just because you got that number and you're like, oh, and your seller's so happy, that doesn't mean the deal's gonna close. So that's what we have to get away from. But as we talked about, I think personally that the actual values will stabilize, being that there is a little bit of a pressure on rates right now pushing that up, which are obviously going to make mortgage payments a bit more expensive. It's going to squeeze out some buyers. But more so than that, with what is going on with the world right now, Corona, the openings, mask mandates or whatever, I think sellers are much more happy to invite people into their homes to put them on the market, and maybe they're going to start moving. So I had touched on with you, on the lender side of things, I do, as you know, I do a ton of refinances. That's how I started my business, kept it that way. I think it's a perfect way to keep a nice blend in this business, purchase, refi. But the last year in specific, so historically when people want to move on to a bigger, better house, they want more space, they want a better kitchen, they want a pool, a bigger yard, whatever the case may be, they would list their house, they'd give you a call, list your house, sell it, we're off. Now, with Corona and low rates, everybody took advantage of their equity by doing a cash out refinance. They took their cash. They didn't have to pay real estate commissions. You pay closing costs, but you're not much out of pocket to close as you would be on a sale. Taking that money and putting it into their existing home, putting a dormer on it, adding square footage, putting a new bathroom,
and just adding more value,
a beautiful kitchen.
And that's what you should be.
And they didn't have to list it, So they're like, I don't have to move. I love the neighborhood and the school. Now I'm just going to make my current house sick because I got a super low rate. And it was quick. I got the cash in a month, if you're working with a good bank.
Of course.
I got the cash very quickly, and we're done. We're starting to work right away. I don't have to put it on the market, wait for them to close. And that was the issue. I think that was the inventory issue. On top of a flooded market of buyers, the cash outs, what was going on. And I think we're coming down on that now. I think that we should kind of even out.
We're all hoping, honestly. I think it will even out. Yeah. We are seeing more and more coming onto the market now. It's not terrible. It's still somewhere where we are. We are still seeing over ask offers all day, but it's tough to say. I think by 2022, it would be tough to not see something happen, honestly.
Yeah.
For the rest of this year, I can foresee it going up and up and up. But by next year, if this is still going at an ongoing rate that it is now, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, there comes a breaking point. Right. So as we talked about earlier, like we hit our rock bottom with rates, and just as if basically values hit rock bottom back in 2008, there is at a point in time where it really can't go anymore. Because now, you're talking little like houses in whatever town. Some guy lists a 1,100 square foot Cape for $600,000, whereas last year the comparable house next door sold for $450, and then fucking Joey down the block says, well, my house is 1,000 square feet more and definitely have a nicer kitchen, I should get $650.
And that's what's happening.
That's what's happening, and that will stop, because there is a point in time where just perception of value is not gonna meet what the actual value
No,
is.
it really is. These values, they just don't make sense,
Right.
honestly. For $500,000, you can literally get a 2-bedroom somewhere, which is nuts. So that same house 2 years ago would be worth $300K. There's just no more affordable housing on Long Island, and it's tough.
Yeah.
Even the rental market is insane right now, honestly, because people are selling their house, they can't find something to move into because they're contingent on the sale, and they end up renting, driving up the rent rates, driving up mortgage, like everything.
Yeah,
So,
we had the same thing. A very, very active, perfect couple buying their first home. You were showing them 10 houses a week. And whether they're picky or not, you should be. It's your biggest asset of your entire life.
Biggest investment
biggest
you'll ever
purchase
make.
you'll ever
Yes.
make. So with that being said, they needed and wanted a home. We legitimately just lost them as buyers, not for good, but for now, because they needed to re-sign a lease or they were homeless. Like, so that
happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what happens. And I think industry-wise, like people like us who are in it, the grass is greener. It will be fine. You just got to stay the course and show up every day. You know, keep working. Don't
give up.
Don't give up. Keep meeting people. Keep growing your network, growing your client base, and everything will come back. And you stay good with these people. And like you said, you take care of people and people that you work with. And I think when that stabilization happens, we'll be in more of a less stressful purchasing environment.
Yeah, and a lot of buyers are getting discouraged, but I tell them, don't get discouraged. You will get discouraged. It happens.
You know,
you're going to get beat up. We're all getting beat up in this market, but do not be discouraged. We will find you the home no matter what, no matter how long it takes, 2 weeks, 3 months, 2 years, we don't care.
And that's what
do.
comes down to the point that we made where, as you know, I mean, any given day, that house that you've been waiting for could come on the market. And if you have a good realtor, if you have a good lender, or people who have connections in Long Island real estate, you could know the listing agent and say, here, what's your number? Let's make a deal. They're perfect. And let's cut the bullshit.
Right.
That is why you need you need me, because that day could happen where the house comes and it's there. So if you give up, you might miss out on that.
Literally, the difference of 1 day. I've seen houses go 1-2 days. Gone. Can't even see it. No more shows. And that's the way it should be. You got to be quick. And that's why we're here every day, 7 a.m. on Zillow, on MLS, just looking for our clients. And that's the way we do it. And that's how you got to be. Speed is everything in this market. And
speed is king. And you know, that's why I align myself with a bank like this, because of the fact that we have the ability to do everything we need to do to close in a very, very timely fashion. I know a lot of banks are struggling right now with turn times and getting commitments out and having to wait for certain searches to close. So that plays back into the team. Like, if you need to be on your shit, you need to have speed on your side. And then that's what's really motivating the sellers to want to work with you. If you're not dragging your feet, you're getting that inspection done the next day. You have that good inspector that does it, sends it right back to you. So that is important. Keep the team together, but definitely don't get discouraged, because that's not what we want to be doing.